Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Shelton, coming to you with your DIY Home Remedies Guide to Health, Happiness, and Healing Transformations. One of the most recent questions that I've been getting, because as the seasons change, it's getting colder, is Chris, what is the root cause of arthritis and what can I do about it? Well, you know, according to classical Chinese medicine, there's actually 3 different types of arthritis. There's a wind-induced type of arthritis, there's a cold-induced type of arthritis, there's also a damp-induced type of arthritis, which means that different climatic conditions will trigger the different types of pain inside the body. So how do you tell the difference? Well, obviously, if it's a cold-induced type of arthritis, then cold weather will affect the joints of the body. So the colder that it gets, if you're starting to notice pain in those different areas of the body come up even more, then that means it's a cold-induced arthritis, which means then we have to work really with our kidney network. The damp-induced arthritis means the dampness will affect it and make it even worse. So if you live in a cold, damp environment, or even a hot, damp environment, for example, most of my family is from Panama, so if you go to Panama, it's near the equator, it's very damp there. Well, in certain elevations, more so than others. But so dampness actually would contribute more to that type of arthritis. And so we have to look at our stomach and our spleen and our pancreas. And now, if the arthritis from the dampness starts to accumulate, then we have what is called as phlegm. And that's when you start to see that the joints will actually swell up and become thicker and harder to move. Then we have a wind-induced arthritis, which means that our liver is out of balance, but also the kidney network too is contributing to that as well. And this wind-induced arthritis, what does that mean? Well, that means that the pain will migrate from joint to joint all around the body. So just like how wind will blow leaves across your yard or down the street, same thing happens inside the body. Believe it or not, we could actually have wind created inside the body, which then will migrate the pain to the different joints. And it attacks the different joints because of our synovial fluids. There's a whole number of things that are going on. But what will happen is that this wind will continue to blow and migrate it. We also call that syndrome a B syndrome, or a BI syndrome. It's spelled B-I, and it means painful obstruction syndrome in classical Chinese medicine. So what can we do to remedy these situations? Well, first of all, if it's a cold-induced arthritis, try to stay as warm as possible. I like to practice the kidney cleansing exercises, so like the Fuuu sound. So how do we do the Fuuu sound? Well, one of the things that you could actually do is rub your hands together. And then what would happen from here is that we'd actually place the hands on the low back where our kidneys are. And we would inhale, we imagine the color blue filling up into the kidneys. As we exhale, Fuuu. Inhaling, Fuuu. You could also do the sound underneath your breath as well too. So as I inhale, imagine that blue cloud filling up into my kidneys. Fuuu. Allow for any emotions of fear, fright, and shock to leave the body like a dark cloud, because those are emotions that injure the kidneys. Okay, so that's one of the first practices. Another great practice too, once again, is rubbing your hands together, because the orifice that connects to the kidneys is your ears. So a lot of times when we see people with like vertigo, or what is also referred to as Meniere's disease, or tinnitus, ringing of the ears, which also we have videos on. So please click on the link below and subscribe to this YouTube channel to check out those videos if you or somebody else is suffering from tinnitus or vertigo or Meniere's disease. Okay, so one of the great practices is to rub the hands together. Okay, create friction if you can, as much friction as possible. Now, if you have cold hands, this might be a little bit harder to do. That's a different condition. We could talk about that on a different video. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to place the hands over the ears, and as I inhale, I'm going to pull the warmth down to the kidneys. Okay, I'm going to inhale again. Rub, 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 rub. Inhale. And exhale. Feel that warmth go all the way down to the kidneys. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so food-wise, what we could do is, number one, stay away from cold and raw food, or avoid cold and raw food, especially in the winter months, because if you're eating something cold and the environment's cold outside, guess what? It further creates more cold inside the body. Try not to have cold around your lower abdomen or your kidneys yourself. So if you're a snow skier, surfer, wearing a wetsuit, try to get out of that wetsuit, or if your snowsuit is damp or whatnot, try to get out of those damp, cold clothes as quickly as possible. Another cool thing you do is you could actually put like a heat pack over your lower abdomen. You could also, one of my favorite things is take one of those brown rice packs and stick it in the microwave, heat it up for about a minute or so, and stick that over the abdomen, especially at night before going to bed. This also will pull the excess energy out of the head and help you sleep a lot better, okay? So those are just some of the simple remedies to deal with the cold-induced arthritis. Now, damp-induced arthritis sometimes also would be considered like RA, so rheumatoid arthritis as well. Now, this could be a complex condition because number one, first and foremost, is your digestion. Digestion is off. There's something going on with digestion. It could be that this darn liver is feeding into or overpowering this stomach and spleen. And so we have to look at, okay, how much anger does a person have? How much resentment? Or maybe what's happening is that they're not expressing their anger or their frustration. They're holding on to it. But the emotions that attack the spleen and the stomach and the pancreas is worry and anxiety and pensiveness, over-intellectualizing. Those are the negative emotions, thinking or brooding on something for too long, okay? So we really have to look at our digestion because, especially with damp-induced arthritis, the synovial fluids, which is the clear fluids in the joints, it actually will change and look like mucus. And someone who I respect tremendously, his name is Thomas Myers, and he developed the system of the anatomy trains, and you could check him out. He's very interesting. But at a workshop of his, after all these years I've studied Chinese medicine, it didn't make sense how phlegm could actually end up inside the body in the joints of the body. And I was at a workshop, one of his workshops several years ago, and he showed a video of somebody who was healthy, stuck a camera into the joint of the elbow, and it was fine. Looked like clear snot. The synovial fluid looked like clear snot, but then or clear fluid. But then they stuck. It wasn't his video, somebody else's video. But then they stuck a scope into somebody with RA, and that's clear fluid now looked like white sticky snot. So then it made sense to me of how one of the functions of our spleen and our stomach is to transform fluids and food. And if there's an impairment of that, then guess what? One of the side effects is phlegm. And phlegm isn't only what we get in our lungs and in our nose, but phlegm could also be cancer, cysts, and tumors, but also to RA. All right, so first and foremost, again, avoid all cold and raw food if you have this condition, because we need to nurture the stomach. I recommend taking a probiotic. Well, for all the conditions, I recommend probiotics anyways, but especially for this type of condition. Our pumpkins, gourds, and our orange vegetables and fruit, or yellow, also benefit our spleen and our stomach. And making sure to have, let's say, a sweet potato a day. Cooking with ghee or cooking with coconut oil is also beneficial for strengthening. Basmati rice, which is the sweet rice. If you eat meat, meat is good for this condition too, because it's sweet in nature. Eggs are good for you as well too. So these are just some of the simple foods that we could do. Okay, so one of the great movements to help to benefit the spleen and stomach is the massaging the yang organs. So bring the arms up, exhaling, and allow the arms to fall, okay? So one of the things also that we would like to avoid here is constipation. Okay, so constipation, reflection of what's going on in our digestive system, but also a reflection of what's going on in our emotional life. We want to make sure to incorporate maybe ginger tea, especially in the morning, on an empty stomach, having a 4 to 6 ounce glass of hot water and some fresh ginger and drinking that down on an empty stomach. Now with this practice here, I'm imagining golden light coming up into the abdominal cavity as I inhale, then as I exhale, allow for the emotions of worry and anxiety and over-intellectualizing to leave like a dark cloud out through the feet and down deep into the ground. You could also focus and imagine that the qi, as it comes up, is circulating through our digestive system. And then as you exhale, just releasing out any blockages that you may have, all right? All right, and then we can finish off by pulling down the heavens one time. All right, the healing sound for the spleen is Huuu, like if you have an upset stomach, like how you would groan. That's the healing sound. So what we could actually do is that we could actually place our hands over the left side of our body where our spleen is located, and we could imagine a yellow cloud filling up into the left quadrant of the body. And if there's something that you know that you're just overthinking, you can't stop thinking about, then we would go ahead and focus on that, or something you're worried or anxious about. Focus on that feeling, and then as you inhale, you're going to imagine a yellow cloud filling up into our spleen and our pancreas. And then as we exhale, inhaling, allowing the yellow cloud to come in. Inhale. You could also do the sound underneath your breath. Inhale. Okay, so there's just a couple of practices, and you allow for the positive virtue of peace of mind and centeredness to come in as we pull down the heavens one time. All right, so the third and last type of arthritis that we talk about in classical Chinese medicine is the wind-induced type. Now, the wind-induced type is affected by the liver, but the root still is back to the kidneys, because if the kidney essence, which is the yin essence of our body, which is responsible for the cooling, lubricating essence, like our blood, all of our fluids are yin. Yang essence of the kidneys would be the component that helps to move blood and fluids, that helps with digestion. So guess what? If there's not enough yin inside the body, then what will happen is that then we'll go ahead and we'll have this empty, what we call as empty heat stir up. And when that happens, it creates a stirs of wind. Now, there has to be some type of liver dysfunction on top of this as well too. So there has to be some kind of blood or qi stagnation, or a combination of blood and qi stagnation. You know, there's all different types of liver dysfunctions according to Chinese medicine. But anyways, the combination of the two, what will happen is that it actually will affect the joints, and they'll migrate, this wind will migrate throughout the body. So first and foremost, the kidney. So going back to that kidney cleansing sound, the kidney cleansing movement. But with the liver, a couple of movements or a couple of exercises that you could do that's very simple, besides the liver move itself, is first and foremost the liver healing sound, which is Shuuu, like shouting. So I want you to focus on something that makes you angry, frustrated, resentful, whatever creates, you know, if there's something that you absolutely hate or a situation that you hate, then I want you to focus on that. Imagine a green cloud filling up into the liver on the right side of the body. And this is a massive organ. And then as we inhale, we're going to feel that green cloud come in. As we exhale, we're going to make the Shuuu sound. So we're going to inhale. If you want to, you can place the hands over the liver and the gallbladder. Shuuu. Inhaling. Shuuu. Feel the anger leave. Allowing for the virtue of kindness and creativity to come in. Shuuu. You could also do the sound underneath your breath, inhaling. All right, then the next practice that we go ahead and do, because the orifice that connects to our liver and gallbladder is our eyes. So if you have you know, eye tremors, flowery vision, eye floaters, all those kinds of things. We have videos on those as well too on this YouTube channel. What you go ahead and do is once again rub the hands together. Now this time what's going to happen is we're going to place the palms over the hands, and as we inhale, we're going to imagine that the warmth fills up into the liver and the gallbladder. So I'm going to inhale. Feel that warmth fill up into and cleanse the liver and the gallbladder. Exhale. We'll do this like 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. As I inhale, I'm going to feel the warmth from the palms penetrate through the eyes down into the liver. And release, and then finish off by pulling down the heavens 1 time. Okay, so simple food remedies that we go ahead and do is green leafy vegetables, broccoli. I enjoy the purple kale. The darker the kale, I think, is the better. You know, and by the way, most people should be eating about 70% fruits and vegetables or vegetables incorporated into their diet. So, you know, we really don't need as much meat. Well, depending on what it is to do. If you're a bodybuilder and stuff like that, you're going to probably need more animal protein, though there are vegan bodybuilders that look great. But for my friend Eric, the trainer here in Hollywood, he would tell you that you have to have a great amount of protein supplementation if you're wanting to build those kind of muscles. But anyways, green vegetables and cooked, but not, you don't just blanch. You don't have to kill the vegetable. And the best way to tell if a vegetable is done is that it'll turn bright green. So if you put spinach and saute it in a pan, it'll turn bright green after about 2 to 3 minutes. So this is a great way to tell. I like starting off my day with hot water, 4-ounce glass of hot water and a whole lime, maybe a little bit of coconut oil in there as well too. Now there are some herbal formulas that we recommend, because part of this type of arthritis, same thing with the damp-induced arthritis, is stress, and stress on the body for a long period of time. So consult with your healthcare practitioner first, but there's a formula called Free and Easy Wonder, or it also referred to as the rambling formula. The major herb in there is blueperum, and blueperum is known historically in Chinese herbology for all types of liver conditions. And so this helps to remove the constrained qi, which can contribute to these types of conditions. So there it is in a nutshell. Wrapping up here with there's 3 different types of arthritis. Once again, the cold-induced arthritis, the damp-induced arthritis, and also the wind-induced arthritis. So please subscribe to this channel. Please click on the link below. Subscribe to this channel. Share this with your friends, because there are a lot of people that suffer from these different types of arthritis. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Chris Shelton, coming to you from a beautiful day in Los Angeles, California, the heart of Hollywood, with your DIY home remedies guide to health, happiness, and healing transformations. And until next time, I will see you later.